We are back in 2022 where the soft war thesis is alive and well. Now, this is congressional member Tommy Tuberville, who used to, as Charlie said, be the head coach of the Auburn Tigers football team back sometime in the 2000s, talking to four-star Admiral, Commander of U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, Admiral Papero. And here's what they have to say about Bitcoin as a national security interest asset, and specifically proof of work as a way to project, quote, soft power across the globe.
To another subject, our competition with China isn't just about military strength. It also includes monetary strength as well. You know, last year, the Chinese Communist Party's main monetary think tank published research on Bitcoin as a strategic asset. You know, this came after President Trump moved to establish a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Admiral, how does leadership in Bitcoin impact leverage resilience, deterrence for Indo-PACOM against China? And do you think that a strategic Bitcoin reserve helps America compete against China?
Senator, our research into Bitcoin is as a computer science tool. It's the combination of cryptography, a blockchain, and a proof of work. And Bitcoin shows incredible potential as a computer science tool that through the proof of work protocols it actually imposes more cost than just the algorithmic securing of networks and our ability to operate. And Bitcoin is a reality. It is a valuable computer science tool as a power projection. And outside of the economic formulation of it, it has got really important computer science applications for cybersecurity.
He said power projection. Man, I feel like the software guys, every time somebody with military garb on talks about Bitcoin or power projection, the software guys get hard. So it's like
power projection. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's all of the buzzwords, and you just have to nod stoically, right? And we won't finish the clip because there's not too much, but Tuberville asks him, could you go a little deeper into this thesis? And he basically says that would take too much time.
You have to read my book.
Yeah, you have to read my book, or you have to read the seminal thesis on this. So for those of you who don't know where this idea, the seed of it comes from Jason Lowery, who, depending on who you're talking to, is a spook, or, just a guy who is affiliated with the United States Air Force.
Club kiddo gone rogue.
Yeah, exactly. He's a Space Force guardian engineer, U.S. National Defense Fellow, MIT 2023, I believe, for his PhD or for his master's. And he says, views expressed are mine alone, not that of the U.S. Department of War. But anyway, he came out with this thesis called Soft War, a novel theory about power projection and the national strategic significance of Bitcoin. Without getting too far into this, because I want to move on to our first story, not give this too much breath. It's basically this idea that proof of work is somehow a national defense imperative, that you want the majority of Bitcoin's proof of work to be on your shore if you are a sovereign, to make sure that you can have stake in the Bitcoin network, to make sure that you can have enough control over Bitcoin to ensure that your citizens and your government is not blacklisted from the network by miners who maybe don't mind your transactions or something like that. On the face, this idea that the U.S. would want to have a strategic interest in having mining assets, it does make some sense. I don't want to totally blow it out of proportion, but there's this idea that somehow it is a way to project force, and I think that's where a lot of Bitcoiners kind of lose this argument, or the argument is lost on a lot of Bitcoiners, right? Yeah. It kind of devolves into this theoretical no man's land, where you can't really prove or disprove whether or not the actual, the premise is valid or not. CleanSpark is a market-leading data center developer with a proven track record of success, NASDAQ CLSK.